What the? Oh. Alright, so welcome back to Clint Street Machines. In the last episode, I said we'd be doing some work on this truck, and we're going to get to that today. So I thought I would start today by doing basically the intro episode, which is always the thing you should do 2 episodes into a build, right? But anyway, we need to do an intro episode so you guys get familiar with the vehicle, know what I got to work with, know where we're headed with it, and so let's go ahead and do that. This is a 1989 Chevy S10 Tahoe, which just means it had a trim package basically. Pretty clean truck, looks pretty good. Everything looks good on video, right? Body is pretty well straight. The paint itself has got some scratches in it. You see that here? You know, there's some damage behind the bumper here. The bumper is far from straight. And yeah, that's an issue. The tailgate handle is also crooked. The same with the fit of the tailgate. It's really tight there at the bottom. And it's really loose, or kind of the same all the way up here. The top bed rails is where most of the damage is on this truck. You've got holes drilled in it for where a ladder rack was mounted, and of course it's flattened it out a bit wherever that was bolted down. It's pretty bashed. It's definitely a work truck. Definitely got some damage on the fender wells. Paint fading, that's the biggest problem with this truck. All the clear coat is gone on the top of the truck except for this little patch here, this little patch here, and that patch down the center of the roof. Windshield wipers are going to need to be painted. That's a bunch of paint missing off of these. We got a broken windshield that I probably don't have to worry about because it's broken this way across the corner, so it's got nowhere to go. So nothing wrong with this. All the mounting tabs are still on there. Nothing's broken off. It's missing an emblem. I'm going to try and find one of those. We're missing mounting screws on the bezels here. We got some rusty, nasty stuff here holding this one in. So bumper's pretty good. There's a couple little ripples on the very top of it. There's a little ripple there. You do some polishing. Replace a couple of bolts. Paint repair here. There's some damage there. I told you that bumper was bent in. Well, that's where it was bent. So I pulled that out and straightened it. That loose bolt right there is why it squeaks and rattles when I'm idling. We just got stock wheels on here for now, the stock rallies. This one's missing caps and rings. I have 3 rings and no caps. I need to refinish these original emblems. I have the gel piece that goes here. It's a sticker that says Tahoe. That goes there. I have that in the garage. I caught it just as it was about to fall off, thank goodness, because I know there'd be no way I could ever find another one of those. Got a little stubby antenna coming just to kind of plug that off and clean it up. This window molding is missing from here to here. Change out all these things here. Change out these door surrounds that are all cracked. All this stuff is letting moisture in and makes it hard to drive. I already replaced these. A little bit of a bend here. A little bit of a tweak on the front of the bed. I'll probably try and pull that back straight. Same thing with the bed on this side. Holes and damage. A little rust dripping off of there. So it's got these little stripes on the side. But again, the only real dings and dents on this truck are you know, work truck, paint on it and whatnot. And we've replaced the taillights, but this rear bumper has got to go. The rear slider, it's another thing. It's got some paint missing here. It's growing moss because it doesn't seal well. Here's another ding. We got a ding here, a little ding with a rust drip, another ding with some rust drip. We got a little ding here. Let's push this in here, so I'll probably massage that back out. Door handle needs fixing there. So we got a Chevy Astro steering wheel. It's a little large. I want something a hair smaller and a little sportier. And it got its first rip in the seat recently. It was pretty thin to begin with, you can see that. And just from me driving the thing, it's started to tear out. The door jamb switch doesn't work, so it doesn't turn on the dome light. The dome light's dangling because I got the headliner out of it. It was falling apart. I could use a new visor over there. It's all puffy and goofy like it got wet. We got a bad door handle here. So we just replaced the headlight switch because I didn't have any tail lights and didn't realize it until somebody told me. So we got a new switch there. I need to put a new switch in here. Every time I try to turn left or right, I end up turning on the wipers. The truck has 237,000 miles on it. So I got a new hazard switch coming, or just the part where it says hazard, so it's not all worn off. Everything else here looks to be okay, so I don't see anything else I need to replace there. This is just needs to be screwed back down, but it's missing the lever here, and I can't turn it from hot to cold. Dashboard wise, we got a couple tears in it. One there, one over here. So it's not the best. Glove box door looks like it's in great shape, but it's not. It's all busted up right here. Well, we want to replace the pedal pads. I want to put new carpets in it. Some floor mats probably. Here's a good look at those wipers I was talking about. We need to get those painted up. So the truck's not that bad. We got a bad, see that? I got to fix that hinge and roller. It's starting to wear out. And here's what it looks like in the back. You can see those 4x10s. This seat boat works fine. The other one is not retracting. Said I want to replace all this rubber. It's full of splits and tears, and it's old and crusty and hard. Look at that one's all shrunk up and pulled away. Strikers need to be replaced on this side. To recap, it's a 1989 Chevy S10 standard cab long bed, 4.3 liter V6 and 700R Ford transmission. Now I packed that truck up for only $550. It had only first and second gear in the transmission when I went to pick it up, and the transmission had already blown up once. They'd had it fixed and it blew up again. It had new tires on it, had a new exhaust from the cat bag basically. It had new belts and hoses, had new alternator. It had a lot of new stuff thrown onto it, so it was a pretty dang good deal for $550. And I was able to rebuild the transmission with a V8 capable 700R4 in it. So if we do decide to go with a V8, we're ready. All I got to do is change the converter and we're off to the races. Pun intended. So anyway, got a pretty long list of things we want to address after seeing that walk around. So in order to help with that, I've already had a lot of parts in stock, and I've got a few more parts that I've got coming. And we're going to focus on a lot of that stuff first. I know a lot of that's not really glamorous. We're not putting airbags in it. We're not shaving it and repainting the whole truck or doing a bunch of cutting and welding on it. But you know, maybe down the road we'll get to some of that stuff. But for now, I just need to make it reliable. Need to make it clean. Want to get it cruise night ready. So basically, I got to get the body all lined up right, have everything looking the way it's supposed to. And to that end, let me show you the pile of parts we've already accumulated for this thing and what the upcoming plans are. All right, so here's our pile of parts. Let me break down real quick. Suspension area, interior and whatnot, engine and whatnot. So anyway, first things we got to do with this suspension is get it running right. And the way we're going to do it is a 2-inch drop spindle up front. These are from Speedway. We have a 3-inch coil also for the front. Those are from eBay. We got new spring insulators. I've got a new brake line for that one that was bad. We have new end links, and I got some shorter sleeves. I don't have to be cutting anything. I just happen to have a couple, so I threw them on the pile. Wheel bearings, seals and races, spindle nuts and washers and whatnot. You'll notice I don't have any ball joints on here or outer tie rod ends, even though those have changed wear pattern positions. I'm going to do those later, because when I get into doing things like changing ball joints, I'm going to go ahead and paint control arms and stuff like that. So maybe we'll do that later down the road when we're cleaning things up. And last but not least, we're going to change out the rear shocks and put these air shocks in there. That'll allow me to fine-tune the ride height and also to throw things in the back and still carrying them around now that I've decided to use the truck. Which brings us to the next things. As you saw, we had some problems. We had a broken door handle, interior door handle, so I've got 2 new ones. We went with the ones with the chrome trim. Since the truck does have quite a bit of chrome trim on it, being a Tahoe I suppose is why. So it's got chrome mirrors, chrome door handles, things like that. I might as well make it, you know, like that. So on that note, I've got some chrome window cranks, chrome interior door handles, got new chrome exterior door handles, because as you saw, I've got a broken one. Here's that new hazard knob I told you we'd replace, just because it didn't have any, or just because I'm replacing this because the writing is worn off on the truck. That was easy to say. Anyway, dome light lens. This is actually the light lens for the glove box that is missing on the truck. And there's our new turn signal stock. Hopefully that fixed a bunch of our problems. We've got emergency brake light stuck on. Hopefully this emergency brake switch will fix that. And then we've got over here, we've got miscellaneous rubber clips and bits, hood bumpers, and some clips for the grills, things like that. I did find a hood emblem, or I mean a grill emblem, at the local self-service wrecking yard. Someone has painted it white, but it's the only one I found, so I decided I'm going to try and de-white it and see if we can get this thing back to looking perfect again. If not, I'll still be on the hunt for one of those. And here's that sticker that came off of the passenger side emblem. So I'm going to polish that up and glue it back on after I restore those emblems. And that brings us to the engine side of things. That air cleaner fits the truck. I just need an element for it. That'll clean it up a little under there, make it look a little bit better. I've got an MSD coil that fits directly onto there. Got a couple door poppers I might throw in there, because if I'm going to keep cleaning this thing up, it's going to need an alarm. I got some LED bulbs and some adapters. New O2 sensor. My phone screaming and Pickle Rick at me. And Also, at the self-service wrecking yard, we were able to find a chrome S10 rear bumper, the S10 Blazer I mean. It's got the wrong plastic trim on it from my year. It doesn't match. You can see the trim here is a single strip of chrome, and then the flat here, whereas this, as you can see, is ribbed here instead, and it has a really wide piece of chrome on it here. So a little different style. This is the later model. So I just got to rip that plastic off and keep hunting the wrecking yards until I find another piece of trim to match the front. But this is a perfectly straight bumper. I got the brackets and everything to go with it, the license plate, mount, all of it. And I found a perfectly straight front bumper as well. This thing's clean, squeaky, no dents, no dings, no scrapes. So I'm really looking forward to getting those bumpers on the truck, getting them cleaned up. And because I bought new bumpers, I also got new bumper bolts for front and rear. They're not quite the originals. These aren't the ones with the caps, but they are the shallow dome, so they look a lot better. The factory ones have little caps on them. And then I got a new rear license plate lamp assembly for this Blazer bumper because that one's kind of crusty and rusty. So there you go. There's our whole pile of parts. We do have a few more things still coming in, like some door pins and some other small sundry items like that. Alright, so that's the pile of parts we've got so far. One other mod we've already done on the vehicle, and that is we've replaced the rear slider windows. So I'm just going to kind of show you the befores and afters on that. It ended up being a super boring video, so I threw the video out. And I'll just show you some quick befores and after slides. Basically, we took that stock slider window out because I'm not a big fan of sliding windows for a lot of reasons. They just don't look clean is what it really comes down to more than anything. So I took that out, put a piece of tinted factory glass in there. I did it all wrong because I didn't bother looking up a video to refresh my memory on how to do it right with a rope. I couldn't find a piece of rope, so I just fought with it. Alright, so there it is. We got our window in, we got our sticker on. Next thing I'll be doing is peeling that sticker off. I don't like it, but I got a new sticker we're going to put on there that makes a lot more sense, hopefully, and looks a bit better. Normally I would run without a sticker, but we need to shamelessly promote the channel, right? Alright, so in the next episode what we're probably going to do is we're going to put an S10 Blazer bumper on the back of this thing. And that should clean up the back end of the truck quite a lot. So look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode when we knock that out. As always, like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate you guys watching, and look forward to seeing you next time.